Hello, this is Devin, and I am about to discuss some of the common misconceptions with Article 17, previously known as Article 13. A lot has been updated in this law due to public backlash as a result of this law being introduced, and now the public perception of what this law is doesn't match what the law actually is. So I have pulled Twitch chat and come up with some of the top concerns that people have about Article 17 and how this is now being addressed by what is in the article. And we're going to discuss that today. So I have here the top 4 biggest concerns that people have about Article 17, and we're going to address each one line by line. So the first big concern is, what about pre-liability and how companies will respond to being pre-liable about content is uploaded? So if you've heard, this law supposedly introduces some context that says that companies are responsible for content that is uploaded before the content is uploaded. So if you're going to upload a copyrighted thing, and the company has to address that, have some kind of system to address that before that content actually exists. So there is nothing in the law that states this. Period. There may have been in some previous iteration, and people were right to freak out about it if there was, but I'm addressing the law as of March 29th, 2019. That doesn't exist in the law. And Section 8, which says the application of this shall not lead to any general monitoring obligation, means that any kind of filters like this don't exist in application to this law, or can exist, but do not have to. So there is no obligation from any kind of service provider or platform, being Twitch or YouTube, to that makes them pre-liable for this content. What the law says is that once a right holder requests that there's a problem, they submit a request in, and they say there's a problem with the content, then the company must address it. But there's no pre-liability in this law. So that's number one. Let's talk about number 2. What about my memes? What is going to happen on Twitter, Instagram? Maybe your memes are going to disappear. Maybe the EU is going to ban memes. There's not going to be any memes. Worry not, your memes are protected under the comedy clause in section number 7. Anything character parody is considered to be, the memes kind of go under that. And then in a conjoining article, which I don't want to cite because I'd be wrong, but there's a conjoining article that refers to short published works, and there's a clause in there that protects against memes. So don't worry, your memes are safe. You're going to get your memes in the EU, okay? Let's talk about number 3, which is, what about content ID filters? Can these still exist? And what's going to happen? So when we refer to a content ID filter, what we're talking about is we're talking about a automated thing that prevents content from being uploaded because it somehow flags through machine learning that the content is not yours. What about content ID filters? Well, they can still exist. If you read section number 8 of Article 17, it says the application of this article shall not lead to any general monitoring obligation, meaning that you don't have to use it, but you can still. So content ID filters will still exist, but there is no additional general monitoring obligation that has to exist as a result of this. So content ID filters will most likely still exist in their current form and continue to be improved by platforms like Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Finally, and I think the most important issue, what will change for end users? Well, really, nothing is going to change for end users. And as I said in my previous video, nothing is really going to change for content creators. You might get a video or stream is blocked in your country if there is an aggressive interpretation by an individual country about this law. So if France, for example, decides to aggressively enforce and create a division or something that goes through and block, and Twitch makes the distinction, or YouTube makes the distinction, hey, it's too expensive for us to answer all these countries' demands, we're just going to block content in that country. That could happen as a worst case scenario. Probably won't happen. But as for the end user, I don't anticipate anything should change. So this is just kind of a quick recap, clearing up a lot of misconceptions that I think are about Article 17. It's worth noting that in previous iterations of this law, I have heard that this used to be worded a lot worse, So there was a lot worse interpretations of this law when it originally was introduced, before it actually became a directive. And a lot of that has been improved because of the public backlash as a result of that, which is good. But what happened now is that a lot of people don't understand that Article 17 has actually been cleaned up. It's really a pretty reasonable law that I don't think is going to cause a lot of problems for anybody. So let's just hope that that misconception is clear. I'm Devin Nash. If you'd like the video, press all those buttons that are related to liking a video or interacting with me in some way, and join our Discord. It's in the bottom of the video to discuss this issue if you'd like. Thank you very much. I'll see you guys again next time.